This information you are about to hear and perhaps view, these are not necessarily the thoughts or the ideas of Gary C.Clement or the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the parties the story is about or was interviewed for. Parts of this content may not be owned by or the property of the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, G2 Network Media, or any other company we are affiliated with, and this information is strictly the opinion of those being interviewed. This content is for information purposes only, and although we may make reference to various news stories, we share our own independent beliefs about the content and provide our own opinions. Please enjoy the information. Hi, my name is Gary C.Clement, and welcome to the Gary Clement Radio Show and Podcast. And today we are blessed to have none other than DJ Superior, who's the principal DJ, or was the principal DJ for none other than notorious rapper DMX. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, man. I'm, trying out here working.
So first of all, tell everybody who you are, what you've done and stuff in the past. Talk a little bit about your career.
Okay, DJ Superior, that's the name I go by. I'm from Yonkers, New York. I started DJing at a young age. I wasn't good at it though, but a lot of people say, I was doing this at 14, 15. I was doing it at 16, 17, but I wasn't good enough, whatever, but I kept doing it. And later on, my mom left me in the projects, but she paid 6 months rent and she told me raise myself. So that's a whole nother story. So basically I was felt by myself, felt like I had nobody. But I went over to a community center, and that's where my life changed. There was a community center called School 12, and I started being on the board of directors. And from there, I learned a lot of stuff. Next thing you know, they gave me a job. I had to lie about my age, though, because I was young. So I had lied about my age, but I got the job. They didn't know until like 14 years later that wasn't my age, but it was too late,
Right.
So later on, a partner of mine named DJ K-Son, which is older than me, I looked up to him because he was a DJ. He had a rapper, like a dark rapper. He had a rapper that, always wore hoodies and stuff like that, and that was a young DMX. So one day my partner got locked up and he had to do some serious time. And then I got to meet X. He came to me, said, well, he's locked up. What could we do? How could we go further? And that's what me and him did. Mm-hmm. We did music and all that stuff. So I was there in the beginning stages. You're talking about 88, 89, way up to,
right,
him being a star and all that.
I see. Okay. Because I know
a lot of those records y'all heard, me and X did back then, though.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the early stuff, I'm pretty sure, like you said, once he got a hang of it and really felt like this is going to be what I need to be, where I need to be at and what I'm doing, it seemed like he just went wild with it at that point, basically.
Yeah, all I had him doing was writing. And you understand, he also had a drug problem at the time. But what I learned was he was, robbing, stealing. He was doing stuff like that. So I was just trying to show him a different way. But it's funny because he was older than me and I'm younger than him, trying to tell him how to live his life and how to do it the right way. But, he felt that I was a good person in his life, so he listened. Mm-hmm. So anytime he robbed somebody, I gave the stuff back to them, eventually. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, some stuff I couldn't give back, but then some stuff I did.
Right.
But we did parties, we did a lot of stuff. And like those records y'all heard, like Slip In, Get At Me Dog, those were done in like 91, 92. Y'all heard them in 2000 and 99. Mm-hmm. But in 92, we had a deal with Rough House Columbia, and we had a single called Born Loser. Mm-hmm. It didn't do too good, but, Wendy Williams, when we brought the record to her, she threw it out the window. She was in her car, she took it, and then she threw it out, and we chased her for a couple of blocks.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's
So that
interesting.
was the grind, trying to get the music out there.
Right, right. I got you. Okay. So just I guess going forward, in your opinion, did his drug habits and everything he was doing with the drug game, his street life, did that stuff get worse or whatnot? Or because he started, elevating once the records and stuff took off.
The true story is, man, and you can hear me clear.
Yeah. Hmm.
The true story is we hid a lot of stuff from the world. So a lot of stuff that he was going through as he was doing the music. It's just that we hid it so well that really nobody knew.
I see. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But he was always talented. It's like he could cut it on and cut it off.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted him to make it, man, because the world deserved. I felt the world needed to hear his voice.
I see. I got you. Okay. So after working with DMX for all these years, all this time, and to hear basically that finally, something has happened to him in regards to, him to be hospitalized or he just fell dead or whatever, what did that do to you?
It kind of messed me up because I didn't seen him fall out before, so that wasn't. But the last time he fell out was his last, and it kind of messed me up because, I seen him come in the game. I was there in the beginning, and then I'm there to witness him leave the game.
Right.
I was in there with him before they pulled the plug in the morning. So I stayed with him. With me and his uncle was with him for like probably an hour and a half,
Wow.
and he looked it so peaceful laying there. And I just kept whispering in his ear, like saying his rhymes over and over, thinking he was going to jump up. I was like, please, Lord, I was, begging with the Lord that, I would give up certain stuff if you would just let this man rise one more time. I wanted him to open his eyes. I would have felt so good if he did that, but he was gone.
I see.
So,
Okay. Wow.
you know.
So now you have a new project or whatnot that you're working on now. Tell us about this project and and what you expect to come out of it.
Okay, the project that I'm doing, well, just to let everybody know, first, I own a lot of footage on DMX.
Mm-hmm.
When he was young, I kept the cameras on. So, recently, well, a couple of years ago, I licensed some stuff to VH1 for DMX Behind the Music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I licensed some stuff for BET Rough Rider Chronicles. So I own a lot of footage on it.
Cool.
So what I did was, with the gentleman that's on the phone, we're putting together, we call it the Rise of Darkman X.
Mm-hmm.
So we're basically showing people the videos, the him working in the room, doing songs, um, um, other things like interviews he did for other people and stuff like that. This is all before the deals.
I see.
So I'm trying to show them the making of him. And only I could show that because only I was there.
Right. I see. Wow. Very
So that
interesting.
show was being put together, and we're gonna have people on that show like Dragon. That's somebody that later on got with X when he was under Rough Riders, and we're gonna have him on the show performing. We're gonna have some other people on the show performing that was back then with him, and also I'm gonna bring his original DJ with me. And I don't really have to do that, but
Right.
I want to do that because I feel it's the right thing to do.
Right. Absolutely. I see. Okay. Just like the Tupac stuff, hey, Tupac has been dead for how long, and he still got records coming out. So I understand where
Yeah.
you're going with this. Right.
Yes.
Very
So I
interesting.
want the people to see the video though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of audio. It's tons of audio, but it's a lot of video.
I see.
So the people get to see it because I only license little pieces to VH1 and BET. I never licensed the whole bunch to them. I only licensed seconds. So Mr. Jonah and me, we're putting it together and making a full show to show people.
Right. And, this is Jonah here. Shout out to No Fun, shout out to GOG, of course. But yeah, the show is, a lot of people have asked, is it a documentary? Is it like episodic? Is it a series? What is it? And really what it is it's a story that has all of this footage and all of this music as part of it, starting from as early as '88, going through, the Rough House Columbia phase, all the way up until he eventually signed the deal that made him DMX that everyone knows about. So we have everything from, like Superior was saying, early freestyles, interviews of X on local TV shows, footage of some of his earliest shows where you can watch, people screaming the lyrics at him as if he was already this #1 artist. But this is back in, 91, 92, 93, before any of those hits that we all know came out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're lucky enough to be able to present that and tell stories and have people that were there, such as the GOG crew, as well as, people like Dragon, who eventually became very close with X in his career, to help share those stories, as well as give context to a lot of the footage and music that we have that we'll be playing.
And just to let you know, because so you don't get confused, keep hearing GOG.
Mm-hmm.
GOG was a team that me and X had that we called ourselves. Like Biggie Smalls had Junior Mafia, Cameron has Dipset.
Mm-hmm.
We had GOG.
I see.
But we kind of put it on hold after he blew up. We just sat back and, watched him do what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I reacted and brought the members back together.
Oh, cool.
So that's what that is, just in case you'd be like, what is that?
I see. Cool. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So I guess, going forward, beyond this project or whatnot, any chance that, like you said, you will sign an exclusive license deal or whatnot with VH1 or with someone to basically show out, like, say, for instance, like a 30-minute or a whole hour of some of your footage, and put together a series of shows or episodes together? Anything like that?
Ideally, that's something that we're able to do independently. We've spoken quite a bit to VH1 and BET, as well as some others, and we want to make something that's so accessible, more accessible than that, especially for the public, which of course takes time and takes a lot of behind the scenes work. And so that's something that we've been putting together, and we're working out the best way that we can give it to the public, without having them to, go through specific platforms.
I see.
So that's the A plan. The B plan is to keep doing shows like this, like overseas has been calling to bring this overseas, and that would be great because his passport was taken while he was alive, so he didn't get a chance to even go overseas to do anything.
Wow.
So those markets are big, and those people want to see him. Any part of him that they can get, they would love for us to bring this tour overseas. So those are the goals. Is either that one or what I just said to you.
I see. Okay. Very good. Very good. So for all of those, interested in attending this event, other than having it online, is there going to be anything in person, live type stuff that you all will try to do?
Right. July 11th, 12th, and 13th in Los Angeles will be the 3 nights that we have with GOG and Dragon and DJ Lord K-Son, where we will be showing this footage and playing the music and talking and telling the stories. And that would be a very similar show that we could do, overseas. And there's so much footage and so much music that every show will be a little different. Certain nights we'll be able to play certain songs. Other nights we might play a different interview clip here and there, because there's so much and we want to really be able to put it together. And you can only fit so many stories and things into a 2 or 2.5 hour show.
Yeah.
So currently it is a live show that will not be streamed. We're using a company called Yonder, which provides, phone bags so that we can show a lot of things that are non-licensed, that are exclusive, that we can't just put out for many, many reasons. But eventually it would be great to have a show. We've thrown around the idea of doing more public shows where we don't have to be as exclusive. But once again, those things are taking us a little bit of time to put together and make sure that we do it right, to really honor X the right way and make sure we tell the stories that we can tell, and have no issues with that.
I see. Okay, cool. So for people that want to contact you all about this, you have an email address, you have a website, or what exactly?
Yes. Yeah, they can email us at theriseofdarkmanx@gmail. You can go to theriseofdarkmanx.com. You can get tickets at latinotheaterco.org/darkmanx. Currently, we have our tickets on sale at a very, very, very affordable price because we really, really want to get people we want to make it as accessible as we possibly can, while also, honoring X. And a lot of our proceeds up to a certain point are going to go to various charities. Superior, would you like to talk about that?
I want to do something. I promised him when when he was laying there that X has a lot of kids,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but he has 3 sick kids that deal with, a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Like, I'm not going to say their sickness, but he has 3 sick kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to do something for them. I wanted to, do something for them. And
Right.
also, I deal with autism. And stuff like that. For people that didn't know, X was a little bipolar, and he said it himself. So, I'm strong on doing stuff like that, just like giving back to certain stuff.
Right. Right. I
And
got you.
at the time when he was out there, if we had some type of stuff to help him, that would have been good. But he didn't. He was just out there by himself.
Right.
So I'm just doing those type of things.
I see. Okay. I was going to ask you too, was there any story, from all of your years or whatnot being around him that, you haven't had an opportunity to put out in the public or whatnot, something that just really, helps you remember who he was and the influence he had in your life or whatnot? Anything that you could share with us?
There was one time, because usually we all have, well, I don't want to say we all have it, but most of us have somebody in our family that is probably messed up on drugs or something's wrong with them. I'm sure people don't have a perfect family. So with him in the beginning, I just kept thinking about him like robbing me probably, because he was always at my house, spending the night, staying there, working on music. I did something one day where I put $20 on the floor and I just let it be there like I dropped it or something. And I kept walking around. And he eventually seen it. He didn't touch it, but he said something to me. He said, in his voice, "Yo, dog, yeah, what was that, a trap or something? Like, what are you trying to do?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he said, "Don't play stupid." Like, and then I saw it, and then I felt bad. I felt bad, but deep down inside, it made me feel good because I know that he trusted me and he knew I had his back and he wouldn't steal from me.
Wow.
So that day, it made me feel good because up to that point, I wasn't trusting really nobody.
Right.
My family left me, my mom left me. I have a big family and really none of them was really contacting me or nothing. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was by myself raising myself. I never had a father. The typical story people be saying, but my life that's how it was. So just feeling that he had my back like that was a good feeling.
Right. Okay. So when is your book coming?
I have a book out already that
Okay.
I did while he was alive. It's called The Man That Walked the Dog. I helped him with his book
Mm-hmm.
called Earl.
Uh-huh.
And my book, he allowed me to do it. He didn't even care. Like, people was like, "Damn, why? He didn't sue you?" Because me and his face is on the cover with the
Mm-hmm.
dog in the middle.
Wow.
So it's called The Man That Walked the Dog, and we're doing a movie on it. So I already have a trailer, and I'm just waiting to get some funds to finish that movie.
Cool.
And the title of the book, The Man Who Walked the Dog, the reason that has significance is because when X would go to prison or jail, Superior was the one who X trusted to hold his dogs. And if you know anything about X loved his dogs more than he loved people.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And he had a main dog named Boomer
Mm-hmm.
that was crazy. He used to rob people with that dog.
Shout out Boomer.
So that's the dog I had to hold.
We really do appreciate our guests who participated in this episode, and we hope you learned something that will bless your day and your life. For all who are interested in learning more about the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, please visit www.amazon.com and order my book, The Gary Clement Radio Show, When Strong Afro-American Men and Women Stand Up. It covers everything about us and features a variety of Afro-American personalities who speak out about the importance of education and literacy in the Black community. Well, we thank you for tuning into our podcast. Please send us your email address so we can contact you when we have new releases and new episodes and new projects as well. You can reach us at gccpresents@yahoo.com. And also, if you're interested in submitting any materials or want to get in touch with us, please do so by simply sending an email to gccpresents@yahoo.com. That's G as in Gary, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie, presents@yahoo.com. So until next time, do take care. And this is a G2